I'm Reverend Shannon Stange, here live at Missions Fest Vancouver 2019. And I'm here with Gary Stevens.
Hello.
And Stephenson.
Stephenson, yes.
Stephenson. And you're with Theos Feast. You got the chef's uniform on here. You're looking very like
I look like a
culinary.
Chef, but I'm actually a university chaplain.
Oh, are you?
So I like to wear this for fun. It's like, oh, you're a chef. And I say, no, I'm not. And you made all these fancy dishes. Like, yes, I made all the fancy dishes, but I'm not a chef. Because if I can do it and I'm not a chef, then you can do it too.
Okay. Now, what is it that you do?
So I've designed a series of dinners, themed feasts that share the gospel through the food itself.
So Theos Feast, sort of like a theological feast, is that?
Yeah, well, Theos is the Greek word for God.
Okay.
But the big idea for the Theos Feast is actually so people can have an actual theophany. A theophany is a physical manifestation of God, tangible by the human senses. Kind of like when Moses encountered God at the burning bush. Yeah, I get God showed up and surprised Moses and talked to him, and he could see God, he could hear God, he could, and really what I want you to do is really, in many ways, taste God.
Interesting.
Taste the kingdom is what I want you to do. Experience it. So you can invite a friend and journey through the story that we're telling, one dish at a time, and through that experience, people have an aha moment. And they go, oh, I thought Christianity was like this, but it's actually just exactly what I was looking for.
You know what just came to my mind? This is like alpha for foodies.
Kind of, yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, Alpha is an awesome program. Yeah. And they, have food, and food is the attraction, but it's like lasagna or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
like
it's simple. So this is, I would call, this is kind of a pre-alpha.
Okay.
This is for somebody who you've been journeying with for a while. You've been praying for a long time. Could be a close friend, an uncle, a family member, a neighbor that you have a relationship with, and you want to share the gospel with them. You've even had a few, conversations here and there, and you kind of know they're at least open. But how do I get the conversation started? See, I'm an evangelist, and I love to share my faith with people. I do that every day at SFU, and it's a lot of fun, and it's challenging as well, because it's an environment where, they call it the secular temple at SFU, right? Yet,
oh, so you're based out of SFU?
Simon Freed, I'm a chaplain at SFU.
Okay.
Yes. But yet, there, I got to think creatively. How do I get people thinking? How about the secular-minded student who wants nothing to do with Jesus and that, organized religion?
So are you organizing these Theos Feasts at the SFU campus?
I do. I've done some with students, and I've done some at SFU, and I've brought dishes to SFU. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. My primary focus is beyond SFU now.
Okay. Now, we've been talking about discipleship here, plenary sessions, seminars. Most of the exhibitors, they understand the theme of the conference. I'm wondering how discipleship fits in with Theos Feast, and is that something you guys are able to embrace with this model?
Oh, absolutely. So the initial idea with Theos Feast is helping you be able to share your faith with so it's about evangelism really, and creating, kind of clearing the clutter, unlocking the key to a good conversation. But really a big part of that is discipleship. I find that those who are growing in their faith or being discipled are hungry to share their faith, right? So as you are sharing your faith, you're going to want to know, well, what is it I believe? Why do I believe what I believe, right? And so you're kind of exploring those questions, going a little deeper, to have that confidence to then share, right? To talk. And Jesus says we all need to go out and be sharing, who He is, make disciples, and go to all nations, right? So it's a part of it. But it is an outreach. But in the process of it, I teach people how to do their own Theos Feast. I don't just want to come in there and say, okay, this is what you need to do, or come and cater a dinner. I want to teach you how to do it, so then you can take it and do it yourself.
Let's put a face on this. What would it look like? Like, is there a story that maybe somebody's life that has been transformed by the discipleship aspect of Theos Feast?
Yeah, sure. I have a good friend of mine. His name is Dave. He's a retired minister, and he's just attending a church now in Ontario. And he's been on my newsletter list for a while, and he's supporting me as a campus minister and all. And then when he saw what I was working on with Theos Feast, like, this is a great idea. So I was going out to Ontario for our staff conference, and while I was there, he said, since you're coming to Ontario anyways, can you come to my church and demo the feast for us? Okay. Right? It's like, sure, because we're interested in it. We think it's a cool idea, but we've never seen it before. We never tasted it before. We don't know if this is a hokey thing or if it's a good thing, right? So okay, I'll come and do that. And so I did, and they loved it. Their whole board of elders were there because they're curious. The pastor said, it blew me over, he says, which is a good thing. And now their entire board of elders and their outreach team has voted unanimously that they want to make it their main outreach.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I taught them how to do it. I showed them how to do it, and now they're doing it without me.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, we've run out of time. Obviously, there's a lot happening here at Missions Fest. You can hear the energy in the room here, and people waving at us, taking photos of us, and almost photobombing us. That's why we have the barrier there now. But you know, let's say that somebody was really intrigued by what we were talking about, and they heard us online, and they wanted to come and talk to you further about this. You're an exhibitor here.
Yes, I'm an exhibitor. Yep.
Where can they find you? And let's say that they don't meet up with you for some reason.
Okay.
Are you online?
Yeah, theosfeast.com. So Theos and the word feast.com is my website. Also, I'm going to be doing the big idea here at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to be bringing a dish with me. I'm one of the few exhibitors who jumped through all the hoops to get the permission to do some food. And it's going to be a Theos Feast dish that I think will easily communicate an edible metaphor. So I'm going to have a limited... I'm going to have a limited number, but I'm going to have some. So if you're around, I'll save one for you.
Yeah. And your booth number?
My booth number is T01.
T01.
And my big idea talk is going to be at 6 o'clock over at, what is that, A11 or something like that. I'm not sure. I got to go
There's
find
a schedule somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so I'm going to be doing a tastings.
Gary, really appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thanks
for
inviting
sticking
me.
around and chatting with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless.
Okay, God bless.
I think of God's personal love for us in the midst of our brokenness and all of our ugliness and all of that. But He pursues us. He says, I love you in that place, in all your brokenness and all your mess. You are mine. You are my beloved. I want you. I choose you to be mine. You are mine. And I think adoption is such a picture of that incredible love that says, I don't care where you've come from. I don't care what your story is. I love you. I want you. I choose you. You are mine forever and ever and ever. You are worth it. You are valuable. You are a treasure. And I will sacrifice on behalf of you. But that sacrifice will turn into great joy because you are a blessing. And that's what we are to God. We bless Him. In the midst of all of our stuff, we bless Him. And He says, come, I want you. That is adoption. And we get to do that here on earth. We get to partner with God and say, we want to do what you did for us here on earth and show others what your love is really like. That we will have hard days, that we will fight for this precious one, the one you love, that you do not want this one to be alone. God sets the lonely in families. He doesn't want anybody alone. We were made for family, each one of us. We were made to have mothers and fathers. It's not okay that children are without. It is not okay. And we get the privilege to say, I will be your mama, I will be your daddy. What a privilege.
सानो व्यक्तिलाई चाहिँ मेन कुरो चाहिँ प्रेम चाहिएको हुन्छ के अनि त्यो प्रेम चाहिँ मैले चाहिँ काहीँ गएर नि पाइनँ हैन एउटा मान्छेलाई चाहिँ प्रेम वास्ता चाहिँ धेरै खाँचो पर्छ हैन मान्छे भएर जन्मेपछि अनि त्यो चाहिँ काहीँ पनि नपाएपछि चाहिँ म चाहिँ बेकार जन्मेको जस्तो भयो अनि हिमालयन लाइफमा चाहिँ लगभग 4 वर्ष जति भयो आएको म चाहिँ यही साइकलको काम चाहिँ 2 वर्ष जति सिकिरहेको थिएँ 7-8 वर्षको उमेरबाट नै घर परिवारको ब्याक सपोर्ट नभएको कारणले चाहिँ सडकमा आएको थिएँ अनि त्यतिमै मैले 17-18 वर्षसम्म सडकमै बिताएँ त्यही 7-8 वर्षदेखि अहिले नेपालमा चाहिँ धेरै जस्तो चाहिँ के भएको छ भने धेरै पुरानो गाडीहरू हैन यो धुवा धेरै खराब धुवाहरू निस्केको कारणले चाहिँ त्यो मान्छेलाई चाहिँ एकदम के भन्छ स्वास्थ्य बनाएको हेल्दी बनाएको छैन के अनि त्यसै कारणले चाहिँ मोडर्न बाइक चाहिँ यो चाहिँ एउटा देशको लागि अनि आफ्नो व्यक्तिगतको लागि अनि समाजको लागि चाहिँ एकदम हेल्दी चिज छ त्यसै कारणले चाहिँ मलाई बाइक साइकल चाहिँ एकदम मनपर्छ विशेष गरी चाहिँ सडकको बच्चाहरूलाई चाहिँ अब जहाँ गए तापनि एकदमै फ्यालिएका हैन एकदमै पछाडि परेका भएको कारणले चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई जसले नि पछाडि नै पारिराखेको छ अनि त्यसपछि हेरिराख्ने भयो भने हाम्रो उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा बाइसाइकल यो महँगो खालको अनि सस्तो खालकोले चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई एकदमै प्रभाव पारिराखेको उनीहरूको लाइफमा चाहिँ बिहानदेखि बेलुकासम्म नसुतेसम्म चाहिँ उनीहरूको जीवनमा चाहिँ कति नराम्रो कुराहरू खाइराखेका हुन्छन् तर पनि अनि उनीहरूले एकछिन भए तापनि गाडीहरू बाइकहरू त दिन नसक्ला तर साइकललाई उनीहरूलाई एकछिन ल्याएर चलाउन दियो भने त पनि उनीहरू ह्याप्पी पनि हुन्छ र त्यो कुराबाट छोटो टाइम भए पनि टाढा बस्छन् अनि विशेष गरी चाहिँ मैले चाहिँ धेरै नेपालमा चाहिँ धेरै संस्थाहरू छ त्यसमा मैले धेरै जस्तो संस्थाहरूमा चाहिँ बसेर आफूलाई चेन्ज गर्ने कोसिस चाहिँ धेरै गरेँ तर सकिनँ हैन अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ किन सकिनँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो व्यक्तिहरूमा चाहिँ गाँस कवच त पाइन्थ्यो हैन तर प्रेम पाइन्थेन त्यो प्रेम चाहिँ अनि जस्तो हिमालयन लाइफ नेपालले दिनुभयो अनि त्यसै कारणले चाहिँ हिमालयन लाइफ नेपाल चाहिँ एउटा मुख्य उदाहरण भएर चाहिँ अनि हामीलाई चाहिँ प्रेमद्वारा चाहिँ चेन्ज गराउनु भयो अनि एउटा मान्छेलाई चाहिँ विशेष गरी चाहिँ प्रेम चाहिँ एकदमै आवश्यकता पर्छ विशेष गरी चाहिँ मैले नि मेरो जीवनमा चाहिँ धेरै कम चाहिँ अरूबाट वास्ता पाएको छु हैन त्यसै कारणले चाहिँ त्यो सडकमा भएको भाइहरूलाई हैन अनि त्यो सडकको भाइहरूलाई चाहिँ कसैले नि वास्ता एकदमै कम गर्छन् त्यो भाइहरूलाई चाहिँ म वास्ता गर्न चाहन्छु हैन हुनसक्छ मैले धनी भएर चाहिँ नसकौँला तर एउटा हृदयबाट चाहिँ स्वास्थ्य वास्ता चाहिँ दिन सक्छु
So what we want to do is just ask you about your time on the field.
Oh, I could tell stories upon stories.
Do I take the glasses off? Or?
All right.
We want the uncut version.
Okay.
I thought you were going to let me think about these questions before you ask them to me.
All right, you ready? First question. When you think back on your time overseas, what brings you joy?
It's the relationships, sharing of life, the sharing of who Jesus is. The greatest joy of my time overseas definitely is people.
People.
It's the people.
The people that I got to meet.
The lives that were changed.
It's the people.
It definitely is people that flash before my eyes when I think about joy on the field.
What's one thing you wish you had known when you first went overseas that you know now?
You really are not in control.
I'm totally dependent on God.
My best efforts would never get it done.
Just been more genuine instead of more calculating.
How integral my kids could be in ministry in a developing country that was very close to the gospel.
How much the people become your family.
that if you're not passionate about reaching lostness where you are, it's not going to grow when you go to a foreign land.
To what degree did the Lottie Moon Christmas offering impact your work?
There is no way we could have gone where we went without Lottie Moon.
Tires were expensive to replace. I think he had the record in Kenya, changing 60 flats in 1 year.
Wheelchairs,
Textbooks,
housing,
surgery,
solar panels.
Honda 185 motorcycle. It was kids on the back of this thing, motocross all the way to church on Sunday.
Torn Achilles, shoulder surgery. Without the Lottie Moon Christmas offering, I would be a mess.
You know, I never would have gotten to the field if it wasn't for the local church.
More than just an offering.
Every penny that was given.
Crucial, vital.
Literacy work.
Education opportunities.
A refugee center.
Health care. We put in almost 300 wells.
Train church planters.
Strategic.
Lifeline.
Cooperative effort
for the gospel around the world.